As I said this morning, we addressed this at the Communications Committee last year about would you like to know more about CSA and how it operates? And overwhelmingly, the public asked and said yes, yes, yes. So the best way we thought we could format this was to a la carte it, and that you could come today and hear these two, you could come next week, or you could come and hear them all. One thing that I failed to mention this morning, and I think is important as we go forward, we have 5,890 property owners in Sea Pines. And that means that we have close to 12,000 voices in Sea Pines, because most of those properties are husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever it is. There's two people there. So take 10,000 or 11,000 voices or opinions about what should and should not happen in Sea Pines. And we have a CSA staff of Brett Martin and 5 directors. That's 6 people. Their jobs are 24 hours a day responding to issues, whether it's safety, whether it's maintenance, whether it's financial, whatever it might be. And we've taken an awful lot of time to prepare this series of explanations and organizationals of what they do. People have lauded and said a lot about the communications and maintenance after the hurricane, what a great job CSA has done. But I just want to throw in here, not only as a board member of CSA, but someone who's worked very closely with all of the functions of CSA, all of these directors and committee chairs that generate from the bubbling at the bottom all the way up till it gets to the board as a procedure or a policy change that needs to be made. You got 6 primary players at CSA addressing 10 to 11,000 opinions, and they do a heck of a job for it. So today, let me start off by our Gate Entry Committee and introduce to you Mr. Kerry Corbett, chairman of that committee.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, I'm here to kind of give an overview of our charter, what we do as the Gate Entry Committee, and who we are, and what our objectives are as we go forward. The committee's purpose, primarily, we don't make final decisions. All we are advisors. We advise and make recommendations to the CSA board regarding Sea Pines gate entry policy and the budgeting associated for the gate entry revenue and the expenditures. We gather, evaluate, and present data to support recommendations consistent with CSA policies, goals, objectives, and the guidelines for ensuring Sea Pines is a premier community and remains that. The committee also works to enhance the trolley transportation system within Sea Pines, the main goal being to ensure Sea Pines remains a premier community for residential homeowners, short-term rental guests, and visitors. And the trolleys are available for private charters. The trolleys did generate this past year right at around $71,000 in revenue for the private charters. The responsibilities, like I said, we evaluate and recommend the following to the CSA board for approval. Amendments to the Sea Pines gate entry policy, coordination with the Finance Committee and CSA staff, the annual budget for gate entry revenues and expenditures. Proposals to enhance intra-plantation transportation for visitors, employees, and property owners, and other gate entry matters. We advise the Sea Pines Security Department on issues and questions concerning the implementation of Sea Pines gate entry policy. The committee membership: designated representatives from Sea Pines Resort, Sea Pines Center, South Beach Marina Village. Volunteers with commercial marketing, transportation, and so forth expertise, as well as broad-based experience or special interests. The committee consists of 5 members representing the commercial interests and 4 members, including the chair of CSA and the president of ASPO, representing the residential property owners. We will have a slide that'll show all of our members, and I'll introduce the ones that are here and go over all of that as well. The staff support will be CSA's president, the director of safety and security and transportation, and he'll be speaking a little bit, and the director of communications, Amanda, and other staff as required. All members are appointed annually. by the CSA Board of Directors upon recommendations by the Chair of the Gate Entry Committee. Residential committee members can serve up to 2 years, up to 2 3-year terms, but must be appointed annually. The 2016 committee members for residential is Mark Griffith, Bill Johnson, Charlie Miner, Michael Tucker. I'm chairman, and the commercial representative is Steve Birdwell, Bob Gossett, Mark King, and Don Sigmund. Steve and Bill are here today, as is Michael and Mark. The Gate Entry Committee limitations: the committee does not authorize distributions. The committee does not approve or recommend to members dissolution, merger, or the sale, ledger, or transfer of all or substantial of corporate assets. The committee does not select, appoint, or remove directors or fill vacancies on the board or any of its committees. The committee does not adopt, amend, or repeal the articles or bylaws. The 2016 achievements that we brought forth: we revised and updated the $6 gate entry brochure for all visitors that are paying the $6, that are handed this 64-page booklet at the gate that we heard about earlier. That is a commercial piece, that marketing effort that we kind of give to our visiting guests to kind of get them to understand who we are and what all is available. We updated the committee's charter for 2016, which we will also do for 17. We formed a subcommittee to discuss and make recommendations to the committee on future gate fee increases. This committee has already met twice and will be meeting shortly after our next gate entry meeting this next week. We revised the gate entry policy for better clarification and operations for management. And this was just really kind of looking at the gate entry policy, and really, like I said, it was just really making it more usable to the management of primarily Toby's operation. We formed a marketing subcommittee chaired by Mark King to look into additional opportunities to market the commercial areas. We reviewed the Greenwood Gate signage along with traffic counts to determine new signage placement along Palmetto Bay Road for 2017. And there has been further discussion about how that's going to come out, and that should be something that we'll be able to bring forth recommendations to the board within the first quarter. Improve the utility easement parking lots repairs on Lot 1 and Lot 2 through a partnership with the Heritage Classic Foundation and Santee Cooperative Electric. This will continue, and as Toby spoke a little earlier, Lot 3 begins, I believe, next week, and then Lot 4 will also be down the road and see improvements there. Continuing to review the bike access from the outside, and that is, we have discussed that on different occasions this past year, and we'll continue that. Approved to waive the $6 gate entry fee, and this was very much needed for the realtors to show property, showing their MLS property owner, not property owner, but Board of Realtors local membership card, and allow them access to show your property for sale between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. In the past, they would have to buy a $6 gate fee, which was counterproductive to allowing them access to your properties. 2017 Gate Entry Committee considerations. We want to finalize discussions and make recommendations to the CSA board on daily gate fees. And that's what the subcommittee is totally focused on. Continue to review and improve the trolley operation schedules and routes. And that has some modifications each year and gets better and better, and it's here to serve all of you as well as our visitors and all of our rental visitors as well. Consider and discuss a property owner shuttle program, interplantation transportation program for property owners, the funding and the need. This is similar, and it came off of what is done at Palmetto Dunes. They have an interplantation shuttle to where the property owners can call for pickup, whether they want to go to the grocery store or out to dinner or something like that. So we're going to continue to look at that opportunity and whether it's something that the property owners would want and so forth. Consider and discuss employee parking operations and locations and funding. As we know, parking is a challenge different times of the year, and so that is of importance for us to further review and come back with considerations and recommendations. So there'll be questions and answers, but I think Toby is coming forth to go through his report. It was quick, and then hopefully we can answer whatever questions you have. Thanks.
Good morning. I apologize because I don't know what's in the next previous slides coming up, but I think we can get through it. And if you want to.
I've got your report if you want to look at it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just to kind of give you some background, with the Gate Committee and working with the Gate Committee, I manage the Welcome Center, which we consider 3 different divisions. The Welcome Center operation, the Gate Houses is a different division that we have, and then the security itself. So we kind of break them up into segments as well as the trolley program. So it's all its own individual departments and needs that we work through the Gate Entry Committee. You can go to the next slide. I'm not going to read the core, but for the Welcome Center, you can imagine that our key mission at the Welcome Center is to issue passes to the rental companies as well as your guests, the property owner's guests. Anyone have any idea how many passes we would issue at the Welcome Center in a year? A little over 270,000 at the Welcome Center. Go. Can you hear? Can everybody hear me? I don't like using the microphone, so my voice and
You have to.
I apologize. I'm being recorded. 270,000 plus passes we issue. So the Gate operation, or the Welcome Center operation, obviously is a busy area. It's one of our challenges that we're trying to really get our hands around. Every year that number grows. The resort passes. Now this is 270,000 property owner passes. That's not does account Sea Pines Resort or the rental agencies. That's a whole separate division. Same pass system, same location, with exception at the Welcome Center. Our rental agency will request their passes sometimes 3 weeks to a month in advance. We prepare those passes, and the rental agencies come and pick those passes up, and they distribute those passes. The people who utilize the Welcome Center is a property owner guest. And then those property owners who rent their homes out individually also in the past have utilized the back Welcome Center area, the drive-through, to access those passes. The good thing is, and it leads into other departments, we are looking to finalize a contract with a company called ABDI, which is going to change how we do business inside of Sea Pines. The technology side of the house, we are way far behind when you start looking at other communities in and around Hilton Head, and not to mention elsewhere, that would allow us the opportunity to have a property owner and my phone's there, to have an app that you can go to your app and you have 20 of your favorite friends that you call passes in on a regular basis, and you hit Toby McSwain and that pass shows up at both gatehouses and at the Welcome Center, and also sends a message back to your guest with a barcode for them to get in and directions to your home. So, I mean, this technology that we're looking to do is going to really change the way we do business and be able to track people. That's not a good word. I got in trouble with that once before. Not track, better to communicate who is coming in. For example, our commercial. This month at the administration, we've issued 6,000 plus commercial decals. I can't tell you when these people come and go. I know they come between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., but many of them stay over. We would have the ability to figure out who comes in the morning and how many are remaining on property. So this whole technology area is gonna change for us in the future. It's gonna take us probably at least a year to implement that, but it's gonna be a huge benefit to a property owner where you don't have to pick the phone up to call Bruce's operation. And we have 9 staff members that work at the Welcome Center that do nothing but answer calls and issue passes. So I guess we'll save the questions to the end. Okay, let's move to the next house. I went to, that was Welcome Center. This is Gatehouse Management. If you guys remember, we surveyed the property owners here last year to talk about what the number one concerns were in the properties. And Gatehouse Management was number one on the list, 67%. We are working with engineers at our gatehouses to figure out what do we do as far as rebuilding gatehouses, what that design will look like, how we can get people in. Our primary function is to get the people into Sea Pines. And we have a lot of challenges with that, getting people in the proper lane. Kerry mentioned earlier signage. We are working towards getting new signage to make sure that we get the people in the proper lane. Right now, we're selling daily passes in what we consider the express lane, and those who have a decal or a pass that we just really want to fast track these people through, and they're stopping in that lane and we're selling them a pass. We've got to do business different than we've done in the past. Our gate fees and number of people coming in are increasing every year. And we've got to make changes to that. We're growing, but unfortunately our infrastructure is not. We're limited in space. You should see something here hopefully over the next year coming to talk about what we're going to do at the gates to be able to manage the traffic. I don't know if we're going to be able to create new entrances or anything like that, but I don't think in the 60s when they were designing Sea Pines, anyone at that particular time, because this was a new concept of a gated community, thought about what 5,900 homes was going to look like on 2-lane roads. No one today would design a community like Sea Pines with the limited number of roadways that we have, and we've got challenges with that. But the gates, I got to tell you, if you get the opportunity that you want to go out and actually observe what takes place at the gates, we do allow that. I will tell you, it's a moving operation. I think people that in the security business come to Sea Pines, that come to work for us, and they go to our gate, it's not like anything they've ever seen. And I will tell you, we are very fortunate. We actually have a property owner here that works at the gate. We're fortunate to have these employees that work at our gatehouses because it is very busy. We had George that stood at the gate for 19 years. You can imagine the amount of carbon that he sucked up over the years of cars going by. But it's a busy operation, and it's not I do appreciate the property owners who thank the gate staff. Because not everybody is appreciative of some. That's a hard job, and that's to be honest with you, it's one of the toughest ones that we have, and we are very fortunate we have people that want to sign up to do it. Next. Trolley operations. Just when Kerry was speaking, I made a phone call because I left the numbers at my office. I wanted to kind of let you know where our trolley program started and where we're at today. Our trolley operation is growing every year. We added some new software to be able to track, there's that word again, to count people on and off the trolleys. It better when we plan out our year and when we move trolleys around, this system lets us know where people get on and where people get off, and it helps us to be able to map the time frames that we really need to have the trolleys in operation. Last year, in the trolley season, March through Labor Day, we moved 125,000 people in the trolleys. At 25 seats inside of each trolley, you can imagine that is a lot of people. A lot of people, I understand that it's not the trolleys is not it's not their favorite thing to see riding around Sea Pines, but you can imagine 125,000 people. That's let's just put 2 people to a car of the number of cars that we're taking off the roadways inside of Sea Pines to be able to move them with the trolleys. I think you would definitely notice a difference if we did not operate the trolleys during a trolley season. You would definitely see the amount of traffic. But the trolleys, the property owners own the trolleys. They're owned by CSA. So it's an asset that we have. We have a very good trolley manager that operates that program. We have 22 part-time drivers that service the trolleys. And our trolley manager is also a certified mechanic who, to be quite honest with you, looking in the years past, we were to have scheduled to have already replaced 2 of our fleet already. They're $140,000 a piece. And Lou Mayada is our manager. When something's wrong, Lou fixes it. So we're able to keep our trolleys going a lot longer than what we have been anticipated. It's a great program. A lot of people use it. I'll share this story with you because I think it's important just to let you know what it's more than just people riding. I met a couple last year that have a place in Palmetto Dunes. They have a child in the 20s that's special needs. They come here and they spend 2 weeks. The 2 weeks that they're here, every day they come to Sea Pines. They pay $6. They park in the trolley lot and they ride every trolley we have. So it's more than just moving people around. It's a for a lot of the kids, it's a destination. So the trolleys play an important program. They're not cheap. You know, you're talking about $500,000 to operate the trolleys every year. But it serves a purpose, and it's a need that I think we really need. And when you look at the small roadways we have, it does a great job of being able to move people in and around Sea Pines. The security administration, that's at the CSA office. Currently we have 5 ladies that work the security administration. They're worth their weight in gold. I wouldn't want their job for nothing, especially after the month of January when we do decal renewal. It is a busy operation. You guys visit there to get your decals renewed. We are looking this ABDI program, in addition to running the gatehouse management, working the welcome center. It's also going to be a patrol mechanism where we can run the patrol software with the ABDI software. And more importantly, it's going to start right here at security administration, whereas a property owner gets to come in and you sit there for 10 to 15 minutes while we type out you have a 2017 Jaguar. Now we would have the ability to scan your registration of your from DMV, and it pre-populates the screen with all your current vehicle information. So with this whole technology and the security administration, this is an era that we have to move into. In the future, instead of you having to come to renew decal, you'll be able to do that online. So it's going to change the way we operate our business and operate it smarter and more efficient than we currently are doing right now. The security administration, it's Monday through Friday. We service all the needs of the community as well as the commercial areas. And there's a lot of information up here that I don't want to read the core services, but the security administration, that's the primary. They're here to work for you guys as well as the commercial interests. 6,000 plus decals. We literally, by the time we finish in January of issuing the commercial decals, they catch their breath. We go into issuing 5,000 residential hang tags for the tournament, all done through security administration. So it's a busy shop. If you've got questions, concerns concerning any of the departments that I've talked about, our gatehouse management, the welcome center, the trolley operation, security administration, please get in contact with us. We have worked really hard to really focus on creating an easier one-stop shop for a property owner where you can come in to our office and get everything that you need. And we're constantly working to improve that process. I think we go into the Q&A at this time. Yep, here's our contact information. At the Welcome Center, Bruce Perry, which many of you know, will answer the phone. He is the manager at the Welcome Center. Bruce has been there, I believe, 19 years. Lou Maeda, that I've mentioned, runs our trolley program. And then let me mention the trolley program because Kerry brought it up. We made $71,000, roughly thereabout, in our private charters. We don't charter to the outside, so if you're a property owner at Hilton Head Plantation, you can't call and reserve the charter. That's only done through a Sea Pines property owner. So if you had a birthday party or you wanted to do something, you wanted to rent a trolley, that's what the service is for. We're not open to the general public to rent the trolleys out. We do a lot of weddings. But it helps offset some costs. Just an example, to put a new set of tires on a trolley is about $3,000. And those trolleys are in a constant state of doing nothing but turn. So we run through the tires pretty good. So it's an expensive matter to do that, but to have Lou, he does a great job in keeping our trolleys running. Sarah Squires, I know Mr. Birdwell's in the room. We actually stole Sarah from Sea Pines Resort. If you come in, you can't miss her. She's done a great job, replaced Teresa Young, who was with CSA for 35 years, who retired, and now Sarah's taken over the operation. and myself at the end. So if you've got any questions concerning any of the areas that I've discussed, I'll be more than glad to answer some questions. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what the community member profiles involve?
Well, one of the key things reason why Amanda was hired was communicating with the property owners. I will tell you, I think as a result of the storm, I think we're probably in touch with a lot more property owners than we have been in the past, just because everyone wanted to know the information. But this new profile, and I think Amanda can probably speak to this a little better, we need to, I mean, we're not going to be able to tell you everything on this new signage that we put at the front gate. So there's going to be some things that we need to communicate with you, whether it's assessment issue or something going on at your home, or you're a part-time resident and we need to get in contact with you. But we also, we got to make sure that we have all your information. And I will be honest with you, with 5,900 homes, most people don't, well, this is a prime example. Let me talk about the community coffee. 5,900 homes and we barely fill up the room here. We've got property owners who are very engaged in the community and are active about what's going on in Sea Pines, and then we have the property owner, they don't care. They come here, they want to play golf, they don't care what's going on inside of Sea Pines, they don't want to know. So, but we're making an effort from CSA, so if something's going on inside of CSA, that you get the information. Okay. That's what it is. You want to touch on that?
I will cover it in the
Okay.
communications committee.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I know that we have a reciprocal arrangement with Hilton Head Plantation. Do we have any with any of the other resorts, and what's the background on that?
We do not. I think the reciprocal with Hilton Head Plantation, Carrie, this has been going on for quite a long time. There is no reciprocal agreements with any other property owners in any other gated communities other than Hilton Head Plantation. We do allow them in. They cannot come and operate a business. It's just really for visitors purposes only. They can't come and operate a commercial interest and get in with their decal from Hilton Head Plantation.
Nor can they utilize the beach club, but it started because Sea Pines company developed Hilton Head Plantation. Charles was the developer of Hilton Head Plantation, and that reciprocal came out of that. So we also have the right to go to Hilton Head Plantation as they do here.
Other questions?
Yes, Jane Kennedy in the Bluff Villas. Question for Carrie. Gate Entry Committee has a tremendous responsibility, I believe. And my question is two parts. The makeup of the committee, I just learned today, is the 9 people. I wasn't aware of that. Is the makeup determined by covenant? There are 5 commercial members and 4 property members on that committee, correct?
Yes.
Did I get that right? Is that by covenant? And I'm not trying to be confrontational or anything like that, but I'm asking because I think for many property owners, who comes in is a really big issue. The biking issue that was on your plate last year, where they wanted the bikers to come in from the outside. And I think there's a real, I don't want to say conflict of interest, but a different perspective from the property owners about who comes in versus the commercial interests who need people to come in. So I guess I'm asking, why is that not balanced? It's a majority of commercial interests. So I said, is that covenant? Is there any way also to expand the numbers of people on the committees?
It is, to the best of my knowledge, it is not a covenant stipulation. The commercial committee was certainly not around when the covenants were developed. It was when, after the bankruptcy and there was the division between CSA and ASPO, these committees started to form, and the makeup of the committee I'm not sure exactly how it actually achieved to 4 residential and 5 commercial, but that has been the way. Now, yes, the committee can expand. We've discussed the expansion of it. We try, when we do have our committee meetings, that we discuss everything, and we try to walk away from every decision that we're making a board recommendation for with a unanimous decision. And it's even though the Sea Pines community or Sea Pines Resort, as does Sea Pines Center, have certain rights that they have, we're not sitting at the committee to say this is how it's going to be, and we're not going to weigh the opinion of everybody else in there. And when we try to come out with a recommendation, like I said, it's a unanimous recommendation, that we're not trying to weigh it one side against the other. Yes, Mark?
Yes.
CSA has bylaws. Those bylaws recognize standards. The committee has a charter. That charter, these things have evolved over the years. The charter recommends the characteristics of the members and recommends the number of members. But the CSA chairman selects the committee chair. The board approves. CSA full board approves. The committee chair, using his charter, selects the members and the board approves. And then the committee takes its actions and the full board has to make the determination on policy. So although it appears that it's a 5-4, well, it is a 5-4 commercial interest versus residents. Any action that they're taking is going to a board of 17.
Good point.
Which is 9 resident directors, 4 commercial directors, and 4 resort directors.
Yeah, like I originally started out, we don't make the decision. All we do is make the recommendation.
And thank you. And I don't believe, please don't get me wrong, I wasn't thinking
Certainly
along
not.
commercial versus residential. I was just,
No, very valid question. Thank you. No, it's quite fine.
the decisions that come out of that committee, I think, are very important.
Absolutely.
And that's why I was
There's a lot of
inquiring how
discussion
we got
throughout the
there.
community about it.
Yeah.
And so certainly.
My other question was for Toby. The composition of your committee. How many people are on your committee?
When you mean my committee?
Yeah, the safety and security.
That's a different group, because of this committee, right now, of the 3 sections that I've listed are in line with the gate entry committee. So trolley operations, gatehouse management, and the welcome
All
center.
fall under the next. Thank you very much.
Yes.
There's a separate committee for safety and security.
Alex.
And to be quite honest with you, to explain that, there is a lot of overlapping issues between the gate entry, security committee, the maintenance committee. I mean, it's kind of, we talked about, Brett mentioned this morning, Bo has really been in charge of the crosswalk. That came out of safety and security. So there's a lot of overlapping issues. And I know that there's been some especially through Mark and the board, of getting the committees to work together, because at some points we were kind of going off in different directions and we're all talking about the same thing. So we're bringing everyone back to make sure that we're focusing the energy where it needs to be at. So.
Jane, as it relates to safety and security, in case you are not able to come next week, which is the safety and security presentation, this morning I referenced the fact that I have 2 openings on the safety and security committee right now. But in case you're not here, in case you missed that this morning, we'll cover that later, but there are 2 openings.
Carrie, it's been mentioned a couple of times about your committee's charter and its policies and so on. Where can a resident find those?
Everything that we spoke about today will be on seapinesliving.com, as will the charter.
Okay, that site currently I know is going to be improved, but right now it's a maze.
Amanda.
Hi, Alex. Alex. How are you? So currently they're listed under boards,
Boards.
CSA committees. So
Thank you.
currently they are all listed 2016 charters because most of the committees haven't had a chance to meet yet. Once they meet, we'll update their charters, and then we'll also update their committee members as they relate to 2017. So CSA, boards, committees, and then this selection that you'd make per the committee that you're looking for.
That should all, the appointment of members and updated charters should all occur in the March 25th CSA board meeting. Correct.
Thank you all.
Other questions? Okay, well, if there are no other questions, this will conclude the presentation from the Gate Entry Committee. We will move in now to the Communications Committee. We will cut